Okay, I think we'll get started. Good morning, everyone. My name is Richard Meek. I'm the marketing manager here at Cobweb. Welcome to the webinar on securing your passwords with LastPass. LastPass is a new product to the Cobweb portfolio. I think it's very complementary to a number of our other security products. And we've got Sam Kennedy and Nadeem Rasool from LastPass to give us our webinar. Any questions, please put them in the chat and we'll address them either as we go along or at the end. The webinar is being recorded and you'll receive a copy of the webinar after we've finished either this afternoon or in the morning. So without further ado, I'll pass over to Sam.
Thanks, Richard, and appreciate you having us on this morning. So good morning, guys, and thank you all for taking time out of your busy schedules to listen to me this morning. So my name is Sam and I sit on the accounts team over at LastPass, and what I do for a living is I help businesses of all sizes, for SMB right through to enterprise, to secure their company data and help them address the kind of numerous challenges they face around passwords. For the next 20 minutes or so, I'm going to talk to you around securing your passwords with LastPass. And then I'm going to pass you over to one of my colleagues, Nadeem, who sits in our solutions consulting team, and he's going to take you through a practical demonstration of the tool. So you're probably wondering, why should one use Password Manager? Well, as you can tell from this illustration, there are multiple sides to data security. There's obviously the technical sides. You have the likes of your antivirus, your encryption, your firewalls, but more importantly, we have the people aspect. The issue with data breaches is more often than not the human element when it comes to passwords. And even more so in recent times, we obviously had the introduction of COVID and the pandemic. Before this, we had many passwords. Now everyone's working from home and there's so many more applications that we've started using. And maybe just as a quick little exercise, if you want to give a thumbs up into the chat if you've ever had to travel for work and maybe found yourself working on your work laptop in a hotel room or hotel lobby. And maybe now think about the amount of times that you've had to register an account for the Wi-Fi network in that hotel and create a password. This happens your business's employees almost every single day, and there's so many different use cases similar to this, where all the time you're logging into new applications for one reason or another, and each individual is creating more and more passwords, leaving us with the average employee having upwards of 70 passwords. Now, when you look at this broken down by industry, you've, marketing teams especially, they have nearly 100 passwords to remember. They have to share passwords with colleagues via a whole host of mediums, be it SharePoint, sticky notes, Excels, emails. You have your IT teams who have passwords for different platforms, and also you have your HR, your legal, finance departments, all of them having upwards of 70 passwords each to remember. You might not think this is applicable to you, but when you actually strip it back and look at the applications that you need access to every single day, broken down by department, just to do your day-to-day role, there are a whole host of applications you require a password for. Secondly, we have the evolving breach landscape, and with all of these passwords come the risk of a data breach. And the 85% statistic there, it's a pretty heavy stat that you see. So over 85% of data breaches are caused from password-related issues. Obviously, we like to think we're a bright bunch, but really when it comes to password management, the large majority of us are not really. We're using our dogs' names, our cats' names, our favorite holiday destinations. We might follow this with a couple of numbers, more than likely our date of birth, making it easier and easier for cyber criminals to basically create a dictionary to eventually compromise our accounts. And as we can see before our eyes, life is becoming increasingly more digital now more than ever. Furthermore, you have people creating accounts at double the rate of before the pandemic in early 2020. And according to one of our latest psychology password reports, we've 32% of people create strong passwords for work accounts. That's such a small percentage of our workforce. Again, the main common factor here, it comes back to that human element. We say human behavior, we should almost say human misbehaviors. Human habits are hard to break, but it's not impossible once we have the right kind of education and tools in place. Finally, there's a topic of cyber insurance. So there are lots of great vertical fits with LastPass. One of the key use cases is around the area of cyber insurance. More and more insurance companies nowadays are beginning to mandate all of their customers take out, be it a password manager, an MFA solution, otherwise they won't even insure them. And just a quick story for you all. I was actually just speaking to a cybersecurity underwriter last week, and this guy, he heads up the cybersecurity underwriting team in one of the largest insurance companies in the world, and basically he came to me looking for a partnership with LastPass. I thought, happy days, this is brilliant, and what are the requirements? And his ask was really, really simple. He's 30,000 customers globally who he provides insurance to, and what he wanted to do was basically give them a 30-day period by where he was making them either get a password management solution or MFA solution in place. Otherwise, their premiums would either skyrocket or he wouldn't even insure them. And this was only last week, and cyber insurance is exploding at the moment. And I don't think it's the last conversation we're going to have on it, and I'd expect kind of many more insurers to follow suit. To add to this, cyber liability insurance, it's just not enough. Yes, you may make back what you've lost financially, but will you get your reputation back? Absolutely not. Think about all those data breaches you see in the news every single week. You have universities being breached, healthcare companies being breached, tech companies all leaking our credit card information, names, addresses, all sorts of information, which is then leaked onto the dark web. You must back up taking out your cyber insurance with implementing the appropriate solutions to help protect from a data breach. And as a result, there's a really positive result of having the solutions in place, as not only will your premiums be reduced, but the cost saving that you're making there in the premiums more than likely outweigh the cost of the solution itself. Next, I just want to speak to you around some of the 3 key challenges around passwords that we see IT leaders face with every single day. Firstly, there's poor password hygiene and a lack of awareness to secure digital identities. The impact of this, firstly, is vulnerability. You've hundreds of access points secured with weak, old, or repeated passwords. And then secondly, there's huge disruption to work. You've IT teams faced with a large number of password resets, huge number of lockouts, and it's just a costly impact to overall productivity. We then have the point around IT having no central oversight or limited insight into endpoint activity and access control for individuals. The impact of this is the IT have no visibility across an increasing number of devices. They can't see what sites their employees are visiting and from where. They've incomplete coverage across all their applications, and obviously there's increasing cyber regulations, and just it leads to an overburdened number of IT teams. And finally, the area around secure sharing of passwords between colleagues for your critical applications. There's lack of insight into exactly what's being shared and from where, and organizations are unable to implement effective policies to help enforce this strong password sharing behavior. So you're probably wondering, where does LastPass fit into all of this? Well, fundamentally, LastPass, we are a password manager. So imagine in your browser, you have a vault, and that vault follows you all around the internet. But more importantly, what it does from an admin standpoint is it gives you the ability to log and report end user activity as well. The single sign-on piece is really important, especially when it comes to integrating with your company's Active Directories. It allows that seamless access into all of your applications. And finally, the admin dashboard. This allows you to run end user audit reports, allows you to set policies around password length and password strength, prohibiting reusing passwords and prohibiting the sharing of passwords outside of your company's organization. And at LastPass, what we do to address these issues, well, around password hygiene, we give employees quick, simple access to their work and one solution to connect everything. How we do this is we offer you a secure vault for storing and sharing your passwords. You have the ability to auto-save and auto-fill passwords, and we offer you a personal vault which can be linked to your business account. We're obviously going to dive into all of this in a working demo now shortly with Nadeem, where you can kind of see the real value of LastPass. But just moving on, for the central oversight piece, we do give IT visibility into access across all of the business. We integrate with your Active Directories, be it Microsoft, Azure, Okta, and allow for that kind of easy onboarding and offboarding with LastPass. We have 100+ policies, so we can give your admins very granular control and strike a real good balance between your security and convenience. With the secure sharing piece, we offer permissions-based sharing for your internal and external teams, just keeping everyone in sync with unlimited sharing capabilities, and you can see exactly who is sharing what with who and from where. Now, do you know what, LastPass? We're definitely not happy with being middle of the road. We are the enterprise leading password manager. We have 30 million registered users and 85,000 business clients globally. And currently, I'm not sure if much of you are Gartner people, but we are the only enterprise password manager on the Gartner Magic Quadrant, showing just how well weighted a solution we are. Not only are we ranked #1 by third parties, we're also the most used password manager in the market. And this is validated by your friends, your peers, your colleagues, and I'm almost certain that you know someone who is a LastPass personal user. How we ensure we stay ahead, we have a team of fantastic people here to support you. We have over 200 dedicated LastPass engineers. We have customer success teams to help with your end user rollouts and adoption, professional services teams to give you that white glove treatment and support with integrations and APIs. We've 24/7 support, and most importantly, we have a brilliant partner network who all come together to form the backbone of a huge support team to help you out with LastPass and the Password Manager. And you're probably wondering, well, what separates LastPass from everybody else? Well, firstly, our user experience, our ease of use for end users. We are designed for everyone, not just IT. And we come with browser extensions and mobile applications. It's so simple to use, and you'll see this in just a moment. Secondly, our reporting. Our reporting capabilities, honestly, they're second to none. The capabilities from an admin standpoint are incredible. We're reporting and policies, so you know exactly what your employees are doing and from where, and all of this is fully auditable. And lastly, one of our latest kind of releases is our families as a benefit. So this is a perk whereby every business license that you purchase, you will receive 5 free premium licenses to share with your families and friends. We're seeing this really heavily adopted across our customer base at the moment, as it kind of helps ease the flow of taking something like Password Manager on, and those good password behaviors at home then help drive the adoption into the business world. It did take me a while, but I finally managed to get my parents hooked on their LastPass Families account, and it's been absolutely brilliant. I can still have them paying the Netflix and the Disney Plus accounts at home, and have the sharing vault set up just so I can get access to them. But these families licenses, they don't have the same reporting capabilities that your business licenses will have, so you don't have to worry. You won't have insight into what your 14-year-old son is up to. Not that you want it anyway, but it's a really great perk. That's probably enough talking from myself now. So without further ado, I will hand you over to my colleague Nadeem. Nadeem sits in our solutions consulting team and will take you through a demo of LastPass.
Hi everyone, good morning everyone. Hope everyone's well and fine. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to show you a demo on LastPass itself. So we're looking at a registration screen within this particular site. The agenda would be that I would provide you from what an end user experience will look like, and also what your administration IT team would also look like in the dashboard. So as you can see from the screen at the moment, we've got a sign up screen. So I'll be signing up my details, username, name, email address. And for LastPass to work, we always have a browser extension. So I'm using Firefox here, but we also support Chrome, Opera, Edge, and we also support all main Windows and Mac platforms as well. So we can have a native application as well as an actual browser extension. But for LastPass, the way we work is we add little widgets here. So when we're doing passwords, you can see we've got this little widget here that we can then generate new passwords. We can change the password length to make it more secure. We can change, what it is, uppercase, lowercase, numbers and symbols. These can be restricted as well if your IT team wants to do that, and we can also show you on where these restrictions can be placed. But this is how someone would generate the password within LastPass, which also promotes good password hygiene. Also, within terms of logging in as well, is we've got little widgets as well. So you can see we've got like a little widget of 1 here. That means like LastPass found that we've got an account within Instagram, so we can fill those details in here. But also we can also fill it within our browser extension as well within LastPass. We try to make LastPass quite easy. So if there's any way that for you to fill in passwords, or you want to generate a new password, you can just go into the browser extension here and click on generate secure passwords, and that can be done within anywhere of site. You can just copy it to your clipboard. Okay, so this is what the main vault looks like within LastPass. So this is the very first thing. When you log into your vault, you'll be seeing like a blank version, and you would want to add in passwords. Now there's multiple ways we can add in passwords. You can import passwords, so we've got the ability to import from Chrome or any internet browsers. If they have the ability to export CSV, we can import it into LastPass, and all of your details will be safely encrypted within the vault. Also, we can import passwords here and add items. But what we will also to do within LastPass is we're not only here as a password manager, we want to also extend this to you. So you can also create different secure notes, address details, payment cards, driving license, passports, social security numbers. We also give you custom types. So as you can see from my screen here, I've got a custom type of door code. So I can actually, when I'm talking about door code, I'm talking about like an office. So within an office, you might need to have a 4-digit or 6-digit number to enter the office. You can safely store items in here. Now, Sam talked about previously about shared folders. Shared folders is a big advantage within LastPass itself. What do we mean by shared folders? Well, if you look on the screen at the moment, I've got here shared London office, and in here I've got my address details, London office store code, and also the London office Wi-Fi. So I can have the actual Wi-Fi address and put in the password, and also within the door code as well. And what I can do is with all of this, if I need to share this to someone, I can share this to either a group or an individual itself. So at the moment, within this screen you're looking at, I've got individuals which I've shared the London office to. So I've made one person to only have read access only for him. My one's been administrator, but someone outside outside people can also gain application. If you want to give them access to it, they can also have read only and hide password. When we talk about hide password, we mean that the people within LastPass can't see that password. So they'll be able to log in on the site itself, but they cannot view that password at all. And this is quite useful for people who like marketing team who have social media accounts as well. So if you can see my screen here, we've got marketing. Marketing is a group. So you're not only conform to users, you can also assign groups as well. And as well, you can make them read only and hide passwords as well. So they will only have access to the passwords to be able to log in. And that's all they need to do. If we see here, within LastPass, these are the details you need to fill in. So the URL, the name, the folder, if you want to reside in folder. We give a little mark on if the password's secure or not. We also have a little audit of information as well. So if you're changing your password, you will see that this information will be kept with like an audit for you to be helped with. We also have something called a one-time passcode as well. So within like sites, like social sites like Twitter and Facebook, they will have like a 2FA code or something like that. So whenever you try to log in, you've got to enter these numeric codes, which you'll find in your authenticator. LastPass, we can help you with this. So when you're within your settings of your Twitter, they'll give you like an API key or a secret key. You just need to enter your secret key in there. And then when you save the details, whenever you go to log into Twitter, then what we can do is we can generate that one-time passcode for you, so you can be able to log into Twitter. So you're not restricted to your phone. You can have it on LastPass itself. Also, you can make notes, and as Sam has said before, we've got autofill and auto login functionality as well that the browser extension uses. So I've shown you within password and I've showed you within shared centers, but also what we do for our end user is we give something what we call security dashboard. So the security dashboard is like a security score. So as you can see, we're telling the customers what risks they might have within password. So at the moment, I've got a 65% security score. Normally within LastPass, we say anything over 70 would be a good security score. So what do we mean by at-risk passwords? And I've got 4 here. As you can see, a lot of people tend to reuse passwords within their password security. So LastPass will pick that up and tell you what passwords you're reusing and to take actions to those. And also what passwords are weak as well. So again, LastPass will explain those, what is weak, and to change them as well. So this will help, again, promote good password hygiene for you and better place up for your security. We also have something called dark web monitoring as well. So dark web monitoring is whatever email is stored on your vault, you can also get it monitored within the dark web. So as one of my example is I've got here of test@testy.com is being compromised, and I have 2 alerts here that tells me what have these places been compromised in. So you've seen a couple of sites where they've been breached and what information has been compromised really. So it gives you a detailed list of what's been compromised here. So again, what we're trying to do is we're trying to educate the users themselves to say take password security seriously, and also we'll tell you when it's been compromised and what you can do to help you, which you can use our password generator to change passwords. That's the beauty of LastPass itself. We try to educate, but also try to make it as easy as possible for you. Within LastPass, we also support multi-factor options as well. So we support LastPass MFA, or if you use Google Authentication, Microsoft Authenticator, or Duo, we support all of that. If you use hardware keys or Yubico, we also support that as well. So this will be, if you want to have an extra layer, then when you're trying to connect to your LastPass vault, you can do this. And lastly, within the end user experience, we also have linked account. So this is what Sam was talking about, the family as a benefit, where we give each business license 5 premium licenses to share with your friends and family. But as a personal person who will have that 1 license, you would put your personal account email and the password as well in here, and you can link to it. So what we try to show here, and what this sometimes gets people confused, is that the personal and the work account are completely separate. What we're doing is we're just showing it on your vault, but the actual information and the details itself are stored separately, and they are separate in the database itself. One thing to also note about LastPass as well is LastPass we do zero trust. So what that means is we have no idea of what information you have stored. We don't know we can't see your password. No one in LastPass can see your details at all, really. So this is all encrypted on your local device. So if you connect via your Chrome on your Mac, PC, or on your mobile itself, it's all locally encrypted. So we will never see that information there for you. So that's the actual overview of LastPass as an end user. So what about your IT team itself? What do they see? This is the actual dashboard for IT itself. So the dashboard would help the company itself to see how adoption rates are. So not only will you have total licenses, but you also have utilization rates. So how many people are active users. We have little dashboards for if there's people who are being unresponsive to being invited. So when we talk about reinvite, whenever we create an account within LastPass, an invite email gets sent off to the company, to the person. And this is what you're seeing here at the moment is all the people who have not activated their account. So what we can do here, your IT team can see like how many people have not activated their account. They can export those users to a CSV and import that into their mailing program if they want to do that, or they can get LastPass to do that by sending resend invitation itself. We can remind inactive users, people who have not used LastPass for 30 days. We can also remind them. Again, we can export this as a CSV and you can use the mailing programs. We also have security as a whole, really. So what this information of your average security score and your average password strength will be done throughout the whole company base, really. So you can manage this. So if we find that as a whole, we've have 100 users that and the security score is 26, then what we need is we might need some more knowledge training to improve that, really. And that will be also showing that your users what their security, how to find out what their security score is, look at those passwords if they are reusing them or not, really, and get them to change. So it's all about trying to tackle how people used to do passwords and now what they should be doing. So we got that within security, but what we also do have is we also do have reporting as well. So the reporting activity is like what Sam was talking about. This is all about the central oversight. So this is what IT team can see what each people are doing. So we can see whenever we've been logging in, when the verification email has been sent, and it's also time stamped, and you also have an IP address. But it's not only restricted to this, really. Is it also you coming down to open secure notes? We've categorized all of these events here, so you can see this. You can also got stuff like if someone has exported data from their LastPass vault, which we'll discuss later on as well in policies. And also we can do like last 2 weeks or custom. You can customize it to however you would want. So this would help IT team themselves, especially if your legal department themselves saying they need to track something down and has someone access something that they're not supposed to. You can check it within here. Also, we have something called admin activities. So again, we audit within the administration activities, also like within APIs, as you can see. And we also do give out security reports as well. And we can also we'll tell you when the actual security report was created here. And actually, and how many people it's impacted. So this might be useful for you, that you can also put in within your reports that you might want to give to the stakeholders of the business to see how well adoption is or how well security is as well. So that's about dashboards as well as reporting. Also, we have users roles. So within user roles itself, this is where all your users will be kept. So we have different statuses for these users. So we've got active, these people are using LastPass daily. We've got invited, people who have been invited into LastPass but have not acted on it. And we've got something called stage as well. Stage means people who have we've just created, but we haven't sent out an invite to them, and we will send them out later. So you can stage different accounts really. We also have groups as well. So from the end user experience, showing you, we showed the social media and we showed marketing. So this is a marketing group I've created really, and we've got 2 people within here, within marketing. You can have as many groups as you want, and you can add in as many users within these groups. And you also can see that there's got this little box here of policies, and that's what we're going to be talking about in a bit really on what you can do and how flexible policies are for your IT team. We also give admin levels as well. So we do give different admins. What we normally say in the beginning of deployment or onboarding within LastPass, we always say to have someone to be either 1 or 2 people to be super admins. So if you are going to be, if anyone out there is going to be using federated logins within LastPass, and that's what we're going to show you in a minute. If that federation's gone down, then no one can access LastPass. So this is why you would need a super admin. Super admin will have their username and their password, and they can just log in and make changes within LastPass if needed. We do support directories, so we do support directory integration. So we have, if you're using an on-premise Active Directory, we have a software for that, AD connector. We also support Azure AD as well as Okta. And OneLogin, and also Google and Ping1. We also give out instructions on this. So we also give you step-by-step instructions on how to set these up. So some of them, like we're using here for skim provisioning, but we have like 3 steps. So this could be done by your IT team. And once they fill in these details, this will all be set up. The same is to be done within federated login. So if you want to set up, Azure, so people will use their company email address and their company password as well. That can be done, and it's again quite simple, self-serviceable here. So you've got like 5 steps to run through, and all you need to do is fill in these 2 fields, and that's it, connected. And then when someone tries to log in for the first time in the browser extension, they'll be provided passed on to your Azure AD. So that's where we try to make it easy for you, but also where we try to make it easy to you is also we offer SSO applications as well. So SSO single sign-ons, we can do this within LastPass. This is like what Sam was saying about, we've got like loads of quite a lot of apps here, but you can also create unlisted apps. For my one example here is I'm using Dropbox itself. So whatever my account is will then be able to, go straight to Dropbox, and that basically helps your shadow IT issues really. So hopefully what we try to do is we try to bring everything more within LastPass, so people can use the apps that they need. If they have an app that they wish to need, then they can talk to the IT team themselves. So that's with the SSO itself, but we also have what we call policies. Now we have, as Sam said, we have over 100 policies itself, and this is quite a lot really. So what we tend to do is we've broken it down in categories to help you really. So what we call here is we've got the default category. So this is the ones we tend to say should be enabled. So, blocking Tor access, remembering passwords, all that sort of things really. But what we also have here is we also have a recommendation. So if your IT team says, I don't know what we should, put for this policies, they can click on the recommended and they can see if this works with their IT policies itself. Some people want to be, account log off when you close a browser. Yes, you can do that. We've also got length of master password and length of site passwords as well. All of this can be enabled and all of this can be, changed. So within Twitter, we give you information here and how, and we can change the value of what the minimum length should be. So some people might be 14, might be 40, whatever you like really, and the policy will set that up for you. Also within the policies you should see is we've got users here. So this is something that's quite powerful really. So when we're talking about users and groups here, wherever you selected to be enabled can be enabled for everyone, can be enabled for only these couple of people or group, or all except for these people or group. Now the reason why we say for the last one, all except for these users and group, is that we have a policy that will be for export passwords. Now IT teams might say, hang on, we don't want the end users to be able to export their business work email passwords. That's too much of a security risk. So what they can do is they can select this option of all and only have an exemption for the IT department themselves or stakeholders really. So that's why they will use these options. Normally within deployment, we would help out with this, or we could always give some sort of advice for you on this. But yeah, all it would be is just for people going through all of this categories, or going through some of these categories like administration here, and just going through what would make sense for them. I've seen this with IT teams. It's always evolving really. So they will set up a couple of options in the beginning, and then what they'll do is they'll go over it in the next month or so to try to refine it really. After they've done like a pilot scheme or something like that, then they'll say, okay, might need more restrictions, or we've been too restricted, and lighten some parts up really. But it's very useful and it's very, very flexible for you. So you can have some policies for some groups and other policies for other groups. So it's not for everyone really. And kind of like lastly, we also, for those people who are DevOps related, we also have something called an enterprise API as well. So this, if you want to provision users via scripting, via Python or something like that, we do allow this option as well. Or if you want to update customers or delete, if you're doing like, the reason why some people will be using APIs would be like if they were doing a cleanup. So there have been some users who have left the company and it's been a good 2 years, and then you might have this IT policy where you would need to do cleanup of that after 2 years. These accounts need to be deleted. So you could do like a cron job and delete users this way. We have scripts as well to help you with this on our GitHub as well. But that's the stuff that can be discussed later. But I hope you see the powerful of what we can do within LastPass itself, within the actual dashboards, the adoption rates, the reporting itself, the user groups, how we could do federated login if you need it, or if you don't need it, then how you can manually create an account here. Also within policies as well, how restricted can you get within LastPass that will apply to all your users, and various different reporting capability. LastPass, the end users, you can share folders themselves with whatever details. Doesn't have to be password, can be secure notes itself as well. All of this information, we try to be flexible as much as possible for you, and also we try to educate you as well. So using a security score, you could think about this as a gamification. Your company could think about, if you have in the call center, if people have over 70%, they might get a prize. Whoever's got the highest might get a prize. That would try to drive up adoption rate, as well as using family as a benefit. But that's all. That's all for this small demo. What I'll do now is I'll hand it over to Sam, who will finish off on the actual presentation. So, Sam.
Thanks, Nadeem, and to everyone on the call. Hopefully you've seen some use cases where LastPass can add some real value to your business. With things like our encouraging strong passwords via our password generator, our reporting capabilities, our policies, and our off-the-shelf integrations and SSO applications. Just to kind of recap some what we covered earlier. It's simply not enough to have trust in your people and having cyber liability anymore. You really, really need the solutions in place to cover you with everything from password management, SSO, and MFA, ensuring you do have that secure access into all of your websites and applications. As you can see here, we're trusted by some of the biggest brands in the world. Some of our customers are Adidas, Coca-Cola, University of Oxford, and many, many more. And I just wanted to finish on this nice little customer quote, Nadeem, if you don't mind just jumping on to the next slide.
Yep.
This is from Emily, one of the marketing managers over at PeopleKeys. So she was referring to LastPass being one tool with many use cases. So she goes, I can access all my programs from home. I don't have to worry. Just add LastPass to your browser, enter your master password, log in, and boom, everything is there. It was a huge benefit to have that. And the benefit and the value that we could deliver to Emily was that she was able to share her passwords internally and externally with other vendors. She could grant and revoke access in real time, eliminate all of her password frustrations, fill any security gaps by using SSO, and lower her cyber security insurance premiums, and overall just helping to secure and protect that company data. Now that's just about all from us, but if you do want to learn any more about LastPass, what I'd recommend you doing is if you reach out to your Cobweb account manager, and what they'll do is they can then set up a call with myself and Nadeem over the next couple of weeks, and we can kind of take a deep dive into the tool.
That's great. Thank you very much, Sam and Dean. Really, really interesting talk and demo. If anyone's got any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat. I've got a quick couple of questions that I've got. What do you think of the trend towards going passwordless?
Happy for me to take this one, Nadeem?
Yeah, go for it, Sam.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, passwordless is it's kind of here now already when we have things like single sign-on and workstation logins with Microsoft. At the moment, passwords are probably your first line of security. They're never going to be completely removed. If passwordless comes in, you'll always have a password behind that as your second line of security. And just as a bit of a teaser, we do have dev teams working on passwordless solutions at the moment. Can't say just yet, but it's definitely in the pipeline.
Excellent, excellent. Another question for you: if you left a company that was using LastPass, would you lose your personal details then, your personal passwords?
No, absolutely not. So your business account and your personal account are linked, but you just set a policy so that everything saved on your business email goes into your business folder, everything on your personal email goes into your personal folder. And when you leave the company, you obviously lose access to the business, but you'll keep your personal account with you and you'll have access to that for up to 12 months.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much, guys. I can't see any more questions coming in at the moment, so we'll reach out to people that have attended to see if there's more further interest. If you'd like a personal demo from the guys, but thank you very much for your presentations, guys. Really great. Thank you to the attendees for coming, and look forward to speaking to you all soon.
Great stuff. Thank you, Richard.
Cheers. Take care.
Thank you very much, everyone.